Hi there. I've got an old pair of faded curtains that I don't need anymore, so I'm going to try making these into a recycled yarn, a fabric yarn. The method I'm going to use is to cut a spiral. There are obviously lots of different methods of making fabric yarn. I'm going to try a spiral in order to avoid having to join bits of the fabric together. So the spiral will enable me to have one continuous piece. It will be a slightly wider yarn initially, and then once that spiral has been cut, I'm going to split that strip into a finer type of yarn. This diagram shows the spiral shape of the cut. The corners are rounded, and this allows for a continuous piece of yarn, a continuous strip of fabric. Once this fabric has been cut, then there will be a further cut down the centre to split that into a finer fabric yarn. After making a spiral cut into the curtain, I've ended up with this quite chunky fabric yarn, and to make a slightly more usable fine yarn, I'm going to split this with a further cut. So you can see here, I've been working on this already. And just a case of this has actually been rolled up for quite some time, so it's slightly creased and folded. So I'm just going to take the thicker yarn and cut that and split it into two, and that makes it sort of roughly a Aran weight, perhaps chunky weight, but just makes it a little bit easier to work as it's not quite so thick. At these end bits, I'm just going to cut around the corners. I'm using this yarn to make a bag using single crochet in the round. It works quite well. It takes a bit of pulling and tugging to pull the loops through the stitches, but it's reasonably easy to use. One thing I find is that the edge of the strips does fray a little, so occasionally you get left with some stray threads, but these can be easily trimmed off. What's good about the cotton fabric that's being used for the yarn is it creates a rigidness, a stiffness to the stitches, which is ideal for making bags or possibly rugs or mats. So it's working well. I'm using this in combination with other yarns to create a striping effect. Here I'm working in single crochet using the fabric yarn. The resulting fabric that's been created using these single crochet stitches is really solid and substantial, so really works well for this type of project. This picture shows me working on the blue stripe of the bag. I've used a twin yarn, chunky acrylic yarn, along with a DK recycled cotton yarn. The thickness of this matches the recycled fabric pale stripes of the bag. This is the finished bag. The base and these stripes here have been crocheted using the recycled fabric yarn with leftover blue yarn mixed with other blue colours to make the other stripes.